Alright, I'm back and I'm making another video about inequalities, and I'm just gonna hop right into it for a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is because this is the fourth time I'm making this video. Uh, I'm not gonna get into it, but it is. Anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm gonna move everything from the right hand side over to the left hand side, and I'm doing that by subtraction, and that's a pretty awful circle, so let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. I'm moving everything over. Now I'm subtracting it. My inequality sign stays the same because I am subtracting, not dividing. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is I'm going to get a common denominator, and my common denominator is going to be 2 times x plus 1 or 2x plus 2. It doesn't really make a difference. I'm taking several liberties here. For example, I'm taking the liberty of saying that you probably don't need me to show this step, but I'm going to show it for the very first one. And that's how I get x squared plus x. Here, I'm going to multiply everything by 2 over 2. I'm going to get a negative 10. And then, now my denominator is this. And then this, I'm going to have to multiply by this. So it's going to be negative 8x minus 8. And this is all greater than or equal to 0. And remember, I'm distributing the negative 4 to there, and then to there. And that's how I got the negative 8. I'm going to combine like terms. I get x squared minus 7x minus 18 all over 2 times x plus 1. 2 times the quantity x plus 1. It's greater than or equal to 0. I'm going to factor the numerator. And when I do that, I get x minus 9, get x plus 2, and I'm still left with this in my denominator. Well, now, what I want you to realize is it's an inequality. We're trying to find all the possible solutions. And so, by using a little bit of intuition, you can say, well, really all I care about are the signs that will happen here. So if I set each one of these equal to 0, I'm going to scroll the sign up. I'm going to say x minus 9 equals 0. I get x equals 9. X plus 2 equals to 0. I get x equals a negative 2. And 2 times x plus 1 equals to 0. Divide by 2, and then subtract 1. I get x equals a negative 1. And so now, all I'm really interested in is using those 3 values as my test points, which is what I'm going to do right here. And I say x minus 9, x plus 2, and x plus 1. If you're not 100% sure what I'm doing, I highly recommend you go back to a previous video, but I'll kind of explain anyway. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a value less than negative 2, and it could be anything. I'm going to pick a negative 5. Well, negative 5 and negative 9 is going to be a negative value. Negative 5 and positive 2 will be a negative value. And negative 5 and a positive 1 will be a negative value. Well, this is really in my numerator. And this is really in my numerator. This is really in my denominator. So I have a negative times a negative in my numerator, which is positive, divided by a negative in my denominator. So my value would be negative. If I pick a value between negative 2 and negative 1, let's say negative 1.5, this would be negative. This would be positive because negative 1.5 plus 2 is positive 1/2. And this would be negative, and so a negative times a positive is negative, but I'm going to divide by a negative, which will make that positive. And if you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, I want to just reiterate, this is my numerator, denominator. Now I'm going to pick a value between negative 1 and 9, and I always pick 0 because that's the easiest. So this can be negative, positive, positive. Negative times a positive is negative. Divide by a positive keeps it negative. And now a value greater than 9, how about 10? Positive, positive, positive. That's going to be positive. Now, going back, just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. I want it to be greater than or equal to 0, which means when I multiply these three terms, their value has to be positive. Well, that happens here, and it happens here, and everything greater. So it's going to be, and remember, it's greater than or equal to, so the value is going to be inclusive. Or 9 to infinity. Infinity is never included. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that one. And if you're not sure, watch it again or watch some of the earlier videos because those will help as well. Thanks.